Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin our final game of today, and it's going to be the first semi-finals of the series. I'm sure that you guys managed to catch the brackets, and I'm just going to go through them before we hop into the game. And there we have it, the brackets coming up on the screen right now. We had a long 2 days, but finally we are here at the first semi-finals that is, and the game that's going to be streamed is Arkangel FE. I think that's maybe stands for females, I guess. Up against Bren, Esports, Victress, and you know, like I said, I'm really hyped up for this one. The players are already coming into the lobby, so we should be able to begin anytime soon. But look at the bracket so far. You know, we have seen really close scores like Finesse Empress against SGP Fam. They did manage to win against Tele Tigress. So whoever wins in the second semi-finals is obviously going to be facing up the winner of this bracket, and it's going to be a best of 3. Only the grand finals is going to be a best of 5, and you can see, you know, Arkangel FE, it's going to be the first game that we have streamed for them. And you know, they played against Revamp X, they played against Gamiho Esports, but the draft has been their draft, in fact, has been quite kept quite secretive up to now, because we haven't really been able to have an insight on the draft. So I can't really review too much as well, other than the screenshots that I've seen. But now it looks like the teams are already ready, so let's just jump straight into the draft. So then we have coming up on the screen, we got Arkangel FE on the blue side, Bren, Esports, Victress on the red side. And looks like we're going to be seeing a Bruno as the first ban carry, going to be banned out the second one. Pretty standard bans. I think Valor might be the next one to be banned out. Either Valor, Selena. I think Selena's not ban worthy at this point. Like, competition wise, we'll be seeing a lot of tanks getting banned out. So like heroes like Kaja, heroes like, you know, we even see Cho getting banned out now. So yeah, like I said, a lot of emphasis on fighters and supports that are very useful in providing crowd control, or even like providing the ganking portion. So we're gonna see the Kaja getting banned out. I think Uranus is a pretty good first pick. I think Valor's pretty decent as well. You do have the option of going Krufa if you want to go for the traditional tank first pick. Tamus is not too bad. I think Tamus is a pretty okay pick. Like, a lot of heroes do, a lot of teams do prioritize that Tamus, because it's, you know, it's a really good offlane to have. Like, it's super hard to break down, wins most of its 1v1s, and you know, it's just really good in pushing down the lanes. So I can see why Archangels do want to go for the Tamus. I mean, this is a good chance for Bren Esports to pick up 2 really strong heroes. They can. I'm really gunning for this Valor pick. I think the Valor is too good of an opportunity to give up. They can go for the Kufra. Hylos is also open. They go for the Grok, and they go for the Kufra. So both tank picks. They're trying to keep their options open. They don't want to review too much of the draft. And obviously, if you have been following the stream, you can see that they do prioritize a lot on the Kufra. It's something that they are very comfortable with. And you know, they just don't feel like revealing the carries at this point of time, so they want to keep it under wraps, which is fine. Arkangel FE, I have absolutely no clue what they're going for. I guess I'm still linked to the Valor. I think Asmurder's not too bad as well, given how much they love playing the Asmurder. So they really want to keep the carries all the way to the end. And I highly thought that it's going to be a Mia pick, but against Asmurder, I think carry's pretty good, but carry's really banned out. If you think about the other hero that does really well against Asmurder is in a Valor. Digi is pretty okay as well. The issue with Digi is that it's gonna have the shield and use Timeless Journey, so that's gonna play into the hands of Arkangel when, you know, you're just giving more ammunition for Asmurder to jump in and use the Falling Star Moon, and the Cascade's gonna ignore all that shield that Digi is gonna give the team. So I can't understand why they choose to skip over the Digi. And you know, with the Asmurder on the bot, I don't think they will go for the Digi anymore. They ban out the Granger, and Arkangel should ban out a fighter. Someone like an Xbox. I think Xbox will be pretty good to ban out. I mean, you can choose to But they really depend on the Cho. So I think Xbox is the next, realistically the next. Oh yeah, I forget about Uranus. But yeah, so they ban on the Uranus, which means that Bren Esports can go for the Xbox if they want to. And I mean, Archives are pretty. I don't think they'll go Arca. I think Xbox is definitely the hero that they want to go for. And then they can kind of keep their options open for the mage. Because Arkangel pretty much got the Esmeralda lockdown. They can pick up the Camilla if they want. I don't think we have seen them play Camilla yet, but it's still a pretty respectable pick in a sense. So Xbox first, and then into the mage support depending on what they want to play for. Lilia is a pretty good pick as well against the Esmeralda. Given that a lot of jumping skills from Arkangel, a lot of commitment, and Lilia does position herself well. She can kind of catch the members of Arkangel, especially if they're going on the chase. So they pick up the Hylos as well as the Kimi. That's not too bad. The only downside I see for Arkangel is the lack of CC to lock the Claude down. They have a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. They have a lot of damage, a lot of sustain, and the longer the fight goes, the better it is for them at this point. But they lack a little bit of the lockdown on the Claude and the Qualifiers as well. When they're jumping in with Tyrant's Rage, when they're jumping in using the Battle Mirror image, I think that's going to be a bit of an issue for Arkangel, because they're not going to be able to lock him down unless they do save the stuns that they have, what little stuns that they have for the fight, which I highly doubt so. It's going to be quite chaotic. They're just going to try to set up using the Falling Star Moon. And like I said, unless they use the Law and Order to form the Hylos to kind of lock them down, I think it's going to be pretty hard for them to try to get a hold on this sneaky Claude. So this is the draft that we're going to work for. Remember, this is the first semi-finals, and these two teams are looking to try to get that spot into the grand finals of the Philippines competition the FSL MLBB Philippines competition. And like I said, they are gunning for that 4K. Second place, 2K. It's not too bad as well. Third and fourth place walk away with 1K diamonds, so it's pretty decent. But yeah, we're gonna see a Joy at Hylos, Esmeralda, Tamus, and Kimi play for Arkangel, and Bren Esports gonna run with the Grok, Kufra, Camilla, Xbox, and Claude.
Welcome to Mobile Legends. 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them. All troops deployed.
Gonna see the Xbox onto the top side, and pretty much gonna be going against the Esmeralda, I believe, unless we do see a subtle change in how they want to change the lane composition. I don't think we see too much of a change, but guys are definitely going to come up guns blazing and try to remove the first crit wave. Meanwhile, on the opposite end, we do see the Tamus against the Camilla, and I kind of fancy the Tamus in this situation. I spoke about how Camilla's not exactly the strongest solo laner out there. Yes, she does have quite a bit of sustain, but that's only if you can land this your skills in, and if you can really stay alive in this lane. And you're gonna see a lot of aggression from Archangels, especially on bottom side, because that's how they usually, or rather that's how like hyper carries play, and they're trying to get this Kimi up to speed. She's definitely going for the magical build, I believe, but we'll have to see. It hasn't really revealed much of the build. It's only a tier 1 jungle item, and they might even get a first blood here. They really want to dive for this. Jawhead diving in a little bit deep, not being able to find the target. Creep going down, so they can't really dive the Johnson as well. But Defrost now jumping onto the back line. Doesn't really hit the level 4 as of yet. Good positioning as well to make sure he doesn't get trapped. Meanwhile, Bren Esports gonna apply a bit of pressure onto the top. Lexa already hammering down on the tier 1 at the bottom side. Triss dropping very low as well. Ooh, maximum charge nearly picking up Triss. Managed to survive with a slit of health. I can see the amount of respect that these two teams are giving to one another, and they're pretty much like really huge household names in terms of esports in the Philippines, like, you know, Arkangels and Bren Esports. So I can sense like a bit of that I wouldn't say bad blood, but that rivalry going on, and these two teams definitely looking to try to get a bit of that pride going as well. So it's all up for bragging rights in these games. And Arkangel definitely doing a lot better in terms of pushing the tower because they have the Kimi. Let's see, they try to spot people out with the maximum charge, not really finding anyone. But Archangels more than happy to just play a little bit passive, trying to zone them out with the Ring of Punishment. Smart missiles coming from Victress as well to further isolate the whole of Bren Esports, coming in a little bit late. Glorious Pathway being late as well. Muta dropping to half HP. They should be able to get the first blood, and that is Kufa going down. Last Insanity being popped, but the Revitalize there is over to keep the Hylos alive. And Victress even uses a smart missile as well as the flicker to get out of position, or to get out of the tower range. And they get 3 kills as well as the Turtle. Archangels showing up really strong. They even get the Camilla to rotate down the mid, so that's gonna allow Thomas to push the bottom as well. And that is a huge win in terms of rotation for Archangels. Not exactly the most surprised when, you know, they did manage to win the team fight. You know, Revitalize just to negate all the damage output. And even with Last Insanity, they were not able to do they were not able to take anyone down. That's simply put. Ejector gonna toss Muta over the wall. And they're just gonna burn Last Insanity as well to try to keep Archangels away from the weakened crew from maximum charge onto the Claude. And they're gonna continue with the skirmish into the middle of the jungle. The Ejector to secure the queue, and they're already making their way, or rather starting work on the tier 2 in the middle of this lane. Guys, I'm gonna come up with the fire missiles, but at this point, you know, the Xbox just doesn't have enough damage. She needs the Bloodlust Eggs to put out like any sort of substantial damage onto the members of Arkangel. I can see the moment Camilla shows up in lane, they are just instantly just jumping up on her, forcing her to back off. They did manage to get the tier 1 on the top side. Now we're gonna see a team fight happen right now. Tyrant's reach against the wall. Where is the follow-up? There it is, the Ejector, and he's gonna stun him up. Camilla's already down to a slit of health, not being able to help up. Maximum charge to come in, and they nearly pick up a kill there. Members of Bren Esports still alive, but all of them really low, and this is the cleanup crew. Lexa coming in with the double kill. They want to jump in, falling stun wound, and Mutant has no way to run. And it's gonna get a free trip to the base by Archangels. Once again managed to pick up a good team fight after Bren Esports did manage to pick up a kill onto both Hull and Tamus. And Archangels just making life a lot harder for Bren Esports as compared to the previous opponents that they face. You can see that, you know, they're just putting so much aggression, and once again, speaking of aggression, falling Starmoon getting halted on the spot by Tyrant's jump and not being able to do anything much there after the revenge, or Tyrant's revenge, stunned her up in mid-air. Archangels not going to be able to get a kill out of this, but they do manage to isolate Bren Esports away from the tier 2, and they should be able to get this pretty easily. No contest there, and in fact they can't really even get into range to defend this top turret. Meanwhile, Kiana Rapes in the middle. And Kiana, she's just had a very rough game so far. Every single time she's showing the bot, you can see instantly Arkangel just gunning for her. Because like I said, she's a really weak side laner. Like, she's good as a support, and she's really good at harassing, like putting a lot of pressure. But she doesn't excel when she's on her own. She doesn't have enough damage. You know, she doesn't really have enough sustain early game, and this is where Archangels can really exploit, you know, the weakness in this draft, and they have done so. And this is why we see Archangels now looking for a lot of huge team fights when they know they are ahead, they know they have enough damage, they know they can abuse the fact that Kimi is way ahead as compared to this Claude. Like I said, Claude isn't be all and any hero. It doesn't mean that if you get the Claude you definitely win. They have the glowing wand, they have the holy crystal as well on the Kimi, and she's definitely way more fun than this Claude, who just managed to complete the Demon Hunter Sword. They get the ejector out. Gasai saving the Purify, doesn't really want to use it. And Archangels, even without the Lord, they are making quick work of this tier 3 on the top, and they toss the Grok even further out of the base, and they get the stray kill. Meanwhile, Tamus trying to push in the bottom lane, but Lassisari getting put out. They get the kill onto the Hylos. Blazing Duet as well, but Colin's already down to a quarter of a HP. Maximum charge gonna come in, doesn't really release the shot, but they got what they came for, and they're gonna walk away very happy. Archangels, not only did they manage to push the tier 3 on the top side, they also steal away a bit of that farm in the jungle of Bren Esports. They take away the red buff, and it's vital that they keep themselves ahead at all times in this game, trying to not give Bren Esports any way back into this matchup. And for Bren Esports, I wouldn't say it's over, but the lead is just so astounding. Look at that, like, it's an 8k goal lead at the 10th minute mark, and the only way I see them coming back to the game, I would say this, is if Archangels make a mistake, because they don't have anyone that can turn the tide of the fight. A fully farmed Claude can, but you know, how long is Arkangels gonna stay patient? They're really gonna get the Lord, they're gonna push in, they're pretty much gonna get like both the tier 3s in the middle and the bot if they want to, or if they go like super ham and like go super aggressive, they can even force a team fight at the top, and if they win it, they can end the game right there, right then. So it's really vital that the side of Bren Esports try to keep the Lord from pushing into the base, and hopefully try to take it out. But we know that Archangel's not gonna do that, or hopefully, you know, Archangel's not gonna do that, because that would be a really huge throw on their part. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they get him in the tight spot. That is the choke point that they want, but Gasai doesn't have enough damage. She's just sacrificing her health for nothing. And look at that, Archangels, they're still up and healthy. Only the Joy has taken substantial damage, but she has an immortality charge, and they will go right back in the Law and Order as well as the Ejector. Gonna stun up the crew for nothing that Muta could have done there. Esmeralda jumping in the falling Star Moon. Claude doing decent damage, but not enough. And now the Lord is coming in. It's gonna be a 3v5 at this point in time, and I feel that this might be a little bit too much. So one-sided, and Archangel get a resounding win in the first game. And what can I say? That was pretty much game 1 wrapped up. Very classic, rather very I want to say like close to perfect. They did give away a couple of kills, so I can't really say it's perfect, but you know, it's a perfect example of how to bully and punish, you know, bad drafts. In a sense, it's not exactly a bad draft on Victress part, but you know, I spoke about Camilla being very weak in the off lanes. I would have preferred if they went for something else. I don't know. Even the Badang could have done a lot better. But Badang is just, you know, not really effective in this meta. You know, doesn't really have the movement speed to rotate the rest of teammates. But I guess in some sense there was other heroes that you could have looked at. If you look at the draft, you know, I felt like even the Minsita could have done better, right? You have King's Landing, and then you can even try to set up a team fight. It does remove a lot of the movement that the side of Archangels have. You know, the Esmeralda, the Jawhead, the Kimi, and even the Tamus. They gotta have that mobility taken away from them, and it's gotta set up a lot better defense if you're on the back foot. And you can also catch someone out. It is something that they don't have. If you look at the draft coming up from Bren Esports Victress at this point, is that they don't have someone that can catch out. Yes, you do have the Krufa, but other than that, they don't really have anything to follow with that. They have a huge lack of CC. They don't have something they can lock down, similar to what Archangels have, which is the lack of CC. But they still have the Jawhead. They still have the Esmeralda heroes that can jump on the back line. They don't really need huge CC. They only need one ejector to just catch someone out, and hopefully they can burst someone down. And that's what they did, and they did it perfect, almost perfectly, I would say. So yeah, Archangels, they walk away with game 1. I don't think there's too much to talk about that game. It was a little bit too quick, I would say, for Bren Esports liking. But we're going to go for a short little break and remake the lobby when we're back. Game 2 between Arkangels and Bren Esports. We'll see how that game goes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I had to cut that break shot because, the teams are already ready and they will look super excited going straight into game 2. Obviously, Arkangel did manage to win game 1. If you missed out the match, don't worry, you can always head on down to our VODs on Facebook as well as YouTube. And you can even watch that on Twitch when it's up for as long as it is. But with that being said, let's just jump straight into draft. I think the teams are already ready. So let's go straight into game 2. So there we have it, two teams going head to one another, and we're going to see Bren Esports Victress take the rather the blue side this time round. They ban out the Kaja as well as the carry, and they pick up the tabus for themselves, similar to what Archangels did in game 1, except that the only difference is that the carry is getting banned out on their part. Archangels, they banned out the Bruno as well as Chow, and for some reason they always like to show that Mia. We all know they're not gonna pick the Mia. I know they're not gonna pick the Mia. They know that. But just having a little bit of fun with the draft. I think they will pick up the Esmeralda. It worked really well for them in game 1, and for the most part, I don't think Bren Esports did anything in the draft to stop that Esmeralda. I don't think they have anyone that can really counter against the skills of Esmeralda. Valor is like the only hero which I feel has a lot of effectiveness again. I keep talking about the Valor because he's just such a strong hero to stop all these heroes from diving because of the Searing Torrent and the fact that he has so much burst damage. Even before Esmeralda can build up anything against them, like, he can just burst them down. But they go for the Kurfa and the Granger, which is fine. I think for Archangel's portion, they should go for... Ooh, I don't think they'll go for Leomod. It would be an interesting pick. But I think they will revert to their normal draft. Interesting to go for the Grog. I haven't seen them play Grog yet, so I would have expected them for Grog. I would have expected them to go for something like a Hylos, something that they are very comfortable with. But it looks like they settled their mind on Grog. It's pretty okay. I mean, logical choice would be to take out either a fighter or a mage, and in this case, like, Xbox is fine. And for Bren Esports, I think the vital thing for them will be ban out an MM. No, Carrie's Kimi's okay, and so that kind of leaves Carrie, or rather, that kind of leaves Bruno wide open. Although Bruno has been banned out. Oh, okay. I mean, if you look at the MMs that's available left, it's not really a lot. You can't really say what they'll pick. They pick up the Uranus first, which is fine. There's actually Roger that's open. There's also 1-1 if they really want to go for Claude open as well. But I'm not sure how Claude will kind of fare into this lineup, because there is the risk of running into a Kufra, and we have seen what happens when, you know, when you play as a Claude, you're not able to burst down the heroes fast enough, then that becomes quite a bit of an issue, especially for the side of Arkangels. But we'll see how that one goes. I think Claude is the next most possible situation, the next most logical lineup for them. Ooh, Bren Esports, they run with this Martis pick. I've got mixed feelings about that. I'm okay with the Selena pick, but the Martis though, I mean, it does fulfill that vital slot. I spoke about how I felt like Camilla wasn't an effective side laner, and it did show. It did show in game 1, and Arkangel, man, oh boy, they exploited the heck out of that. They constantly ganked the bot lane. Whenever Camilla was showing lane, they were desperately trying to get a kill from it, and for the most part, they succeeded in doing so. So I guess in some ways, Martis is a decent pick. You know, it does stop. It does provide a lot more sustainability in lane. You know, he's not as easy to gank, and you know, he's definitely got more damage as compared to like a Camilla in lane. And you also have that little bit of the stun with the decimate. So I think this is where the Martius, it's kind of like a Pandora's box, or rather it's kind of like a ace up the sleeves for Bren Esports, because you've never seen them play.
Welcome to Mobile Legends. 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them.
So yeah, I mean, it is a first for me. It's a first for everyone at home that's watching this, to see the Martis getting picked up. And yeah, I'm just glad to see how she's going to be performing on this. I know that Kiana Rips is a pretty decent offlaner. It was hard for her in game 1 because, you know, like I said, pick up a Camilla is just yeah, it just doesn't work really well. So I want to see how she's going to use this Martis.
Your fate has been sealed.
It's like Archangels are gonna try to get the Claude to farm as quickly as possible. Counter rips on the top lane against his Asmorder, and though it's more sustainable as compared to like against the as compared, you know, in some ways as compared to like the Camilla, it's still not really effective matchup against the Asmorder. Muted jumping on the back line, they might be able to get the first blood. Ejector thrown out of range, and they're gonna delay the blue buff tick, but you know, they're not gonna be able to steal it away. Uranus bot lane trying to cut this wave to increase the efficiency of pushing down the tier 1 in the bot lane. Meanwhile, like I said, top side, Falling Star Moon used a little bit prematurely in my opinion, but it's fine. Bren Esports, Victress definitely coping a lot better in game 2, and that's due to the fact that Archangels are taking things a little bit slowly. They're not really rushing the ganks, you know, they know that this Claude needs a bit of farm, and you know, she's not as ganky as compared to like Akimi, where, you know, at the early spot of the game they can really go ham because of the physical damage that she has early game, you know, and you know, chemical refinement and all that. Archangels, despite not ganking, they still want the red buff. Qualifiers able to steal it, and in fact they give away the first blood, and that's gonna be the Grog going down. For some reason, Grogs just happen to be giving away first bloods. For some reason. They're first gonna use ejector onto Trias. I don't think they can take the Selena. Like I said, due to the slow nature that Claude has, and like before he hits that Demon Hunter Sword, Arkangel's gonna have to play a little bit passively. They need to be patient with this Claude, and I gotta say, Bren Esports Victress definitely doing a lot better. Look at that. They not only did they manage to get the first blood, they are keeping up in terms of farm, although you know it's pretty even to some extent, and that's due to the fact that Claude is just insane at farming. And he's already level 8, like Lexa, she's already at level 8. She's pretty much gonna hit level 9 with this wave. Or maybe the next wave. But yeah, that is where I think they'll be looking for team fight. You can see they're already thinking about jumping on it. They're chipping away at this HP. So they're just gonna back off, try to get this creep. It's gonna allow her to get the level 9. And now they go on to the Tamus. Blazing Duet should be enough damage. Ejector as well as the smart missiles. They're gonna blow that Tamus up, and they're gonna get this tier 1 and the bottom lane. And this is where Archangels know they are ready to fight top side as well against the Martis, Ashura, Aura. Not enough to keep the Martis alive. And Kiana Rips gonna be in for a bad time, especially after this Claude manages to farm the Demon Hunter Sword. That is where we're gonna see Lexa gonna be a lot more aggressive. In fact, they're really starting to invade the jungle of Bren Esports Victress. And can at least try to stop this here. Nope, Raid Buff gonna be stolen away by the Grok. Not the target that they intended for. They definitely did want it to get on the Claude, but it is still a steal away. And more importantly, they do not allow Colleen to get that Raid Buff. So she's gonna be one Raid Buffless Granger. I just made that word up. IQ 900 play. Defrost going in with Unstoppable Force, and I think they should be able to get this one. Falling Star Moon. They focus on the Martis instead. Fight breaking up into 2 pieces. Lexa being able to secure the turtle right there. And now we got fight on all 3 fronts. Selena still getting chased by Defrost, and this is pretty much a dead Selena. I don't think she can run out there. She's just trying to buy time for the rest of the team to actually rotate around. Enchanted Talisman picked up by Bergriad as well. I really haven't seen much from this Uranus because partially because like she's just rotating around, you know, trying to push down the bottom lane, and you know it's against the Tamu, so it's always boring because neither of them is just gonna give in until we see the rest of their teammates come to their support. But for now, Bergrid pushing in the bot wave, while Dr. Chopper gonna be doing the same. Must be a One Piece fan, but now Defrost, ooh, taking a lot of damage coming out from the Selena. Abyssal Traps doing their part. Claude gonna build into Endless Battle, I believe. Interesting choice of items. I would prefer to see her built into the golden stuff, but you know the Endless Battle does allow her skills to come off cooldown. It's gonna help with the Blazing Duet in the cooldown reduction as well, so I guess that is still a very smart choice. Ejector, they catch Triss out, the Selena gets blown instantly, and now they can start to take down the tier 2 at the bottom. As Murder cutting the wave as well, just making it so hard for this Martis to defend the tier 2. They stun muted up, Ejector just for good measure. The wall fails to stop Gasai from proceeding onto the tier 2, but the damage from Claude a little bit too much. And instantly making the way to the turtle. Look at how efficient Lexa is as a farmer. Like, she constantly is looking for the next objective to take. Takes the tier 2, immediately goes to the turtle because it's up. Skips every single thing, and you know, just allows the team to get all this passive goal out of the turtle, all these major objectives on the map getting taken away by Archangels. Now Bren Esports Victress doing their best to slow down the progress coming up from Archangels. Like I said, they've done a decent job, but now with the Claude, oh, good jump there with the flicker. But that's gonna be 120 seconds without flicker, so the next time this Asmodee jumps into Falling Salmon, she's gonna be caught out of position. And obviously what we saw, even with the Ashura Aura and the Decimate combo, I don't think it's enough to sustain against the Asmodee. Look at how quickly they're just hunting against Triss, having a nightmare of a game. It's just been constantly been the target for Archangels, who are just hungry for kills at this point. The Wild Charge coming up to stun Gasai. Ejector gonna be throwing back even further. They get the kill onto the Grok. And they're trying to buy a bit of time before the Claude comes in. Birgit getting thrown inside. Not sure if that's exactly a throw move. DeFrost having a little bit of fun with her teammates. But here comes Lexa, who hasn't yet used her Blazing Duet, waiting for the next fight to occur. Lexa gonna be taking down the tier 2 in the middle after stealing away the red buff. Gasai building into the Bloodlust Axe after Queen's Wings, prioritizing that sustainability in the first half of the game. And while that has worked, she needs the damage now. She needs it desperately. Falling Star Moon, and there's nothing they can do against Dr. Chopper. She's just going to town. Look at that. But they do manage to get out Defrost with the help of the Molten Scythes as well as the Rhapsody. Rhapsody, I can't believe I said that. But Triss now following up onto Birgit. Great will walk away alive and should be able to sustain, but Lord taken out instantly by Lexa. That's gonna be the golden stuff as well. A Tina Shu coming up from Kau. I think that's how you pronounce it. Koawa? Koawa. There's like so many ways you can pronounce it. Like Koawa. I'm just kidding around, but yeah. I guess in some ways Archangels now is just, they're just way in front. Like look at the goal lead. They're just so far ahead. In fact 11k or rather 9k goal lead at this point. And now they're stalking the base of Bren Esports. Once again, Abyssal Arrow not gonna be landing. They jump right in. They get the stun up. Magic Ball gonna be slowing down the push, but not enough. They get the tier 3s and the top. They probably will get the middle one as well. Uranus is really working down the bot lane alongside with the Lord. It feels like there's 2 Lords available. A Wild Charge coming in. They get the stun, but where is the follow-up? There's none. But Grok is pretty low, and looks like Archangels will try to back off from this. They can actually get this tier 3 in the bot lane if they put a little bit hard into it. Defrost, oh, they bait the Granger out. They get the ejector, and without the Granger, do they have enough damage to push this onslaught coming out from Archangels? I guess not. They're trying to end things here. Tyrant's Rage to stun all 3 members up. They might just have a glimmer of hope to get another kill. Oh, and it's just a slaughter in the base of Bren Esports. Another hit, and the DPS coming up a little bit too much. They get the Maniac. No Savage for the Asmodee, but they get the win, and they are your first grand finalists, Archangels. Pretty one-sided affair when it comes to these 2 teams in Mobile Legends, and it does show in the result as well as the timing of the game. And what can I say? Archangels looking unstoppable as they head into the grand finals. Nothing that I think that Bren Esports Victress could have done. For the most part, they did well in the first half, but that's due to the fact that Colin, rather not Colin, but Alexa was just farming up on this Claude, and you could see that the moment she's got like a majority of items up, the moment she's got the Demon Hunter Sword, she's immediately looking for gank. She builds into the endless battle and she's looking for the Lord. She's like constantly getting objectives off the map. Like that's just how efficient Archangels are as a team, and every single point in time they're trying to get that objective, they're trying to steal a buff away, they're trying to get a kill on the Selena, they're trying to abuse the fact that, you know, they have what Bren Esports Victress don't have, and that is the ability to bully the opponents. When you look at the lane matchup, you compare Uranus to Tamus. You know, Tamus is definitely not going to be able to outlast Uranus without his ultimate, and that's until he gets to level 4, and then Gaza is just going to be struggling by keeping the distance within the Uranus. And then on the other side of the lane, you have, you know, a really tough matchup as well for Bren Esports Victress in that, you know, it's an ass murder against a Martis, and the Martis just can't do anything much. Kiana Rips was just barely hanging on to their life. She did manage to fend off a couple of the pushes coming out from Archangels, but the moment the clock comes to the top, there's nothing she can do. She's got to give up the towers, so not really high volume of kills in this game as compared to the rest of the competitions or rest of the games that we're seeing, but it is a very clinical win from Archangels, you know, so take nothing away from them. They have done a fantastic job here, and also commemorations to Bren Esports Victress. They looked unstoppable coming into the semifinals, and unfortunately they just met someone who was who what would I say, just outdrafted them in both game 1 and game 2. That being said, congratulations to Archangels, they are your first grand finalists. We'll also have to wait on the results coming in from the other semifinals. And if I'm gonna show the brackets over here, I think I'm gonna show the brackets. So that is pretty much the brackets. So next play, Predator Tempest is going to be playing Finesse Empress, and whoever wins that match is going to go against Archangels in the grand finals, which is going to be a best of 5, and that's going to be played tomorrow. I believe it's going to be at the same time, 8 o'clock, that's plus 8 GMT, depending on where you are in the world who's watching it. And also shout out to all the Philippine watchers out there. You know, I know you Filipinos are like super crazy over Mobile Legends, so shout out to you guys. And obviously, what can I say, you know, it's been fun casting this past 2 days, and I'm obviously looking forward to the grand finals. I think it's gonna be pretty sick. So yeah, shout out to everyone at home who have watched. Remember to share the stream tomorrow, and do look out for the grand finals. I'm excited to find out who makes it in. Once again, a big shout out to our partners, especially Dreamcore, super solid, as well as Yahoo. Without them, this would have been possible. A big shout out to you guys for watching at home. A big shout out to all the admins, as well as all the players so far. But remember, tomorrow, mark your calendars. Well, it's just tomorrow, so set your alarms, because I'm going to be casting the grand finals in a best of 5 series as well. My name is Aries. I had fun casting this semifinals. I hope you guys had fun listening to me as well, and I will see you tomorrow.